Wow, so we've got breaking news. It appears that Donald Trump and his people are absolutely panicking today. And today the panic is all about jobs. Check out this headline. BLS cancels October jobs report, couldn't collect some data. Now, essentially leading into this, they were saying, okay, we've been having some tough time collecting some data. There's been a government shutdown, but at least we'll put out something, right? So this week, all the news has been, we got some big jobs report coming out. The government said they're going to put out something, but evidently not. Now you got this October jobs report canceled. Okay, we just heard that. And here's new, November release delayed. So we got a cancellation and a delay, and it just feels like, okay, are you going to tell us anything at all? And if you guys have been following the story, the last time we got a report from the BLS, so that's the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Trump didn't like the numbers. He was upset. Like, what are you talking about? We got all the best jobs, the best economy in the whole world, right? And so what does he do? He fires the head of the BLS. Then he tries to bring in his own lackey. His own lackey was so incompetent that both Democrats and Republicans are like, we don't like that person, get someone competent. Because these kind of things, you just want a nonpartisan person, someone who's competent in numbers who can just tell you what it is, right? Just tell us the truth. And in fact, right now, what we got Trump and his people. Again, October jobs report canceled, November release delayed. Now, that makes it a lot easier now for Trump to talk about jobs because there's no official report. Let's listen to what Trumpy has to say about this.
I view it differently. I used to view it as it's great, great, great. The stock goes up. I view it, everything as jobs now because I don't care. I care about jobs. And we have more jobs. It was just announced. We have more jobs right now than we've ever had in the history of our country. Those are big numbers. You know, it's like crazy. It's just a great stat. More jobs today than we've ever had in the history of our country. And we're going to be producing a lot more are coming. In my first term, we built the greatest economy in the history of the world, and now we're do it again. But
so we got no official job number. So then Trump goes out and he's at this Saudi investment thing saying, hey guys, we got all the best jobs, most jobs in history. We're just so awesome. Look how great the economy is, right? And it doesn't really add up because when you talk to regular people, they have a very different story. So listen to this. This is just your regular average American consumer. Let's see what they have to say.
I am 22 years old and I am in $91,300 worth of debt and I am filing Chapter 7 bankruptcy today. I've had such a bad financial burden the last couple years. So after meeting with an attorney and doing lots of research, I realized that filing bankruptcy really isn't as bad as it's made out to be, and it was truly going to be my best bet. I decided to file Chapter.
All right, so as Trump is telling you, you all got jobs, the best job market in history. Then you got like regular person saying, well, I'm filing bankruptcy and it's not that so bad. Maybe you should file bankruptcy too. That's literally what we're talking about. And this is a 22-year-old saying she's got $91,300 worth of debt. Let's listen to more of this and I'll explain sort of why we're going over this also.
Chapter 7, and truthfully, my consumer debt really is not that bad. A lot of people have it a lot worse financially, but for me, $91,000 was just too much. It was uncomfortable and I just wanted to get a fresh start. I moved to Texas directly after high school and I made a lot of very irresponsible decisions financially and really dug myself into a big hole of debt. I decided, let's go ahead and file bankruptcy. Let's give myself a clean slate. That way I can stop stressing and I can actually do better. Okay, just to give you a little breakdown of the debt that I do have that totals up to the $91,300. I owe about $51,000 on the vehicle that I have. We did try selling that, trading it in, all that good stuff, but I have way too much negative equity to come out on top. I bought a motorcycle back in 2022. Thought that was a great idea. I owe $5,000 still on that. Same thing. Tried selling it, not able to get what we owe out of it.
So you can hear right there. I mean, this is just regular American. She's basically saying, I bought a car, I bought a motorcycle. I think, what was it, $51,000 in the car debt, and was it $5,000 in motorcycle debt? And they can't even sell it for what they paid for it. So it's like underwater and those things. And she's going to list some more stuff. But this is a major concern because you have to understand this. The whole American economy, right? It's like 70% of it is based on consumers and people shopping, right? American economy is basically people shopping. And so to get people shopping, you need a couple things. One is easy credit. So you can see she's got lots of easy credit, $91K in debt. And two, a job. So you can hopefully pay this stuff back. And then she's like, you know what? I got a solution. I'm just going to declare bankruptcy. And this shows you where we're at as a society and how the whole Trumpy stuff and the American, you could call it the American consumer stuff, is completely unsustainable when none of us have jobs. Because you have to remember, Trump's whole plan here is to build a bunch of data centers to replace all of you. And so that's why I want to show you the juxtaposition of like how a regular person talks about their situation. Let's listen to more of what she has to say.
I do own a camper, and I owe about $13,400 on that. However, I live out of that camper because I can't afford a house. So I am keeping that since I do live in it. I have $2,200 worth of medical bills that I had no idea were in collections. And then I have $12,000 worth of student loans. However, those do not get forgiven with bankruptcy, so I will still continue that payment. And then I have about $7,700 worth of credit card debt, all coming into a grand total of $91,300.
So that's not a great situation. I'll just be frank with you guys. Not a great situation. I'll let her sort out her thing. But you know, the problem is that if you create an economy that only benefits the Elon Musks and the Donald Trumps or whatever, this is what you end up having, right? A lot of people who are basically underwater, and it's very, very difficult to dig yourself out of the hole. If you're watching this video, you probably know exactly what I'm talking about if you're in the USA. If you're outside the USA, you're like, oh my God, how is this sustainable? And I'll just be frank with you guys, it's not. It's not sustainable. And so that's why like Trump now is going to be talking about jobs, because there's a lot of desperate people out there that are like, okay, help me bail the self out of the hole.
You know, in some cases, you're building extremely complex plants. You're building plants to make computers and to make telephones, to make a lot of different things, missiles. But you're building plants that make things that are very, very detailed, and you have to have great knowledge. And you're coming here and you find if we don't have people that did that before, we are allowing you, and I may take a little heat. I always take a little heat from my people, the people that love me and the people that I love. They happen to be toward the right of center, toward the right. Sometimes they're way right. But if you have to bring people to get those plants opened, we want you to do that. And we want those people to teach our people how to make computer chips and how to make other things. You can't come in, and I'm explaining, you can't come in, open up a massive computer chip factory for billions and billions of dollars like is being done in Arizona, and think you're going to hire people off an unemployment line to run it. They're going to have to bring thousands of people with them, and I'm going to welcome those people.
And you can listen to Trump's plan here, right? So he acknowledges that a bunch of Americans are unemployed. We talked about this before in a prior video. So this is not the first time he said this stuff. This is like another time he's saying it. And he's now saying that we got to bring in people to train the Americans to do jobs. And that's why I showed you like a typical Americans. It's like, oh my God, I'm completely underwater. And I guess I'm celebrating because I'm declaring bankruptcy. Like this whole thing is unsustainable. And Trump is completely disconnected from regular people. And then remember his whole campaign. This is why like all this stuff is like pure chaos. Trump's whole campaign is basically anti-immigration. And there's all these, MAGA people out there. Oh yeah, kick out all the immigrants. We hate, immigrants. Oh, kick them all out. And now Trump's trying to say, well, wait, guys, you're unemployed. We got to bring in people to train you. Like it yes, it is as clowny as you think it is. And it's hard to have a serious discussion with this stuff when you have people who are just like so emotionally irrational and unstable. But, this environment is created by economic angst. Guys, I completely understand. That's why I showed you the person who's like totally underwater. Listen to more what Trump has to say regarding bringing immigration. He's going to talk a bit about Georgia and the Korean situation in Hyundai.
I love my conservative friends. I love MAGA, but this is MAGA. And those people are going to teach our people how to make computer chips. And in a short period of time, our people are going to be doing great. And those people can go home where they probably always want to be. When people are born someplace, they tend to want to go, and we have the greatest country in the world, but they want to go. But they're going to do. We had one case in Georgia where a battery factory, batteries are very dangerous to make. They're complex, much more complex than people understand. And they spent $1 billion to build a factory.
And you'll go on and on about this stuff, but the main thing I want you to get from this stuff is that Trump's policy is incohesive, it's chaotic, it doesn't make a lot of sense, and it's all based on a con job, essentially. And if you really did want to turn the economy around, you would be effectively doing opposite of what Trump's doing. So if you look at Trump's, whole policy, they want to cut education. So because some people say, well, Chris, I hate immigrants. I don't want any immigrants at all. Americans can do everything by themselves. And okay, you can try. But how's that going to work out if you don't have any education? I mean, no, seriously, how's that going to work out? Because Trump and his people want to completely cut education. They keep talking about they hate education. And they talk about attacking universities, attacking research. They want to cut the Department of Education, so they want to cut funding to various states. It's in their policy, right? They hate education. And then also they hate immigration. He's like, okay, if you're going to be an immigrant, I'm going to charge you a bunch of money for visa fees. We're going to discourage foreign students from coming in. Like, basically the USA is imploding. I mean, you can see it. And then he tries to come back, backtrack on his policies, but that's just going to piss off his base. Like, the whole thing is unsustainable. And then when you look at the people who are, benefiting from Trump's, whole push for AI and data stuff like that, they're dancing and jumping up and down. This is Elon Musk talking about the whole AI thing. Listen to this.
With XAI.
Yeah, we're excited to announce that we're doing a 500 megawatt. 500. Sorry.
500 megawatt.
500 megawatt. Yeah.
We're doing 500 megawatts.
Sorry.
Not
This.
quite, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's 500 gigawatt one. We'll have to wait. That'll be $8 bazillion trillion.
Stop that.
So yeah, we're doing a XAI, and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia are doing a
Humane, 500 megawatts, starting with 50 megawatts phase one, and we're doing it with NVIDIA.
Yes.
Congratulations to the Humane team, to Targ and team. Such a fantastic job. Jensen, I think we're also doing some great announcements this week.
And so that's Elon Musk, Jensen Huang talking about all this money. And, Musk is just laughing. I was like $1 zillion or whatever. I mean, to these people, it's all a game and it's all a joke. And if you watch, so you can see my last video, but if you watch, Elon Musk is out trying to raise money. The supposed richest dude in the world is always asking people for money. Seriously. And he's trying to now, what are we building? It says Elon Musk just announced XAI and Saudi Arabia are teaming up with NVIDIA on a 500 megawatt AI compute project, right? So they're laughing about it. And remember, this whole data center stuff is designed all to replace you. And it just, nothing makes sense because, again, the American economy is based on consumers. And if we don't have jobs, who's going to consume the stuff, right? And I hope you guys understand like the disconnect here. Now, some people do get it. You can actually see this. Trump is sagging in the polls, so don't feel like everyone's lost their mind. Some people do get it. Just watch a little bit. This is Fox News talking about Trump's recent polling data.
President Trump's approval rating falling to 38%. That is the lowest it's been in his second term. People are unhappy with Trump's handling of consumer prices and, yes, the Epstein files. Kim Strassel joining us this morning. Does this mean Trump's affordability messaging isn't working yet?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely right, Stuart. And this is a huge wake-up call for Republicans. And if you actually look at Trump's approval rating, it actually has been sliding for a while. And I think what happened here is voters had a lot of optimism that he really was going to turn around the economy. And they've given him, 9 months now, and they've been waiting. But suddenly they've been looking around, and things really haven't improved to the degree that they thought they would on cost of living. Yeah, gas prices down in some areas of the country. There are some glimmers of good news here and there. But overall, he's not performed, and that's what the polls are saying. He's not lived up to people's expectations. So Republicans, they got a lot of work to do in a short period of time before the midterms.
And I know you're probably thinking the same thing that I'm thinking. It's like 38% approval, it should be like single digits by now, right? So it takes some time for some people to realize the truth, but they're going to get there because this whole thing is completely unsustainable. And from the Trump people's point of view, they're going to try to talk about inflation because the inflation numbers theoretically could come down, but they may be due to because everyone loses their job. No one has any money to buy anything, and then prices come down because there's no demand. That is a real concern. So that's why I told you guys in the beginning that watch the job numbers, watch unemployment numbers, because I personally think they're going to spike up. You're seeing it in all of the companies coming out saying, hey, we're going to do layoffs, or you'll see it in slowdowns, like Target saying slow down, Home Depot saying slow down. And then the government, they're not even saying anything, which is probably a bad sign, because I think if it were good, they'd be touting the numbers like nonstop. Oh my God, look how awesome the job numbers are, but they're not giving you numbers at all. So I want to hear you guys' thoughts on this. I do appreciate your time. And I'll catch you on the next video.